You know, I do some motivational speaking, and I've developed a curriculum for young people called Life Skills, wherein I try to use certain life skill components to try kind of train them and to help them prepare to be successful as adults. And then I call these life skills $1 million nuggets. And one of those nuggets is the child is the father of the man, or the child is the mother of the woman, talking about one person. And that's what that says is that what a person does, a young person does as a child, will determine how successful he or she will be as an adult. And I use that introduction to say today I'm at Hutchins Career Center, and what's happening over here is that there's a lot of training, under the auspices of the Macon-Bibb County Board of Education that's going on, that's giving young people hands-on experience so that they will be better prepared as adults to be successful. So I have with me today, first of all, before I introduce the most important person, I'm just going to give a shout out to the young people that's filming this because we are at Hutchins. And then the videographers and the sound people and the control people are really in training. So they are really filming this show, and I'm so proud of them. But I have with me today the young man, who's in charge of the Macon-Bibb County Board of Education in the person of Dr. Curtis Jones. How you doing, Doc?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm outstanding, sir. It's so good to be here. And, I may sound like, I've had a lot of coffee this morning, but that's not the case. I sound, like this because I'm so excited from having the experience of coming over here to Hutchins and see these young people in action as it relates to culinary science, as it relates to printing, as it relates to videography, as it relates to the hospitality industry. Coming soon is aviation and construction. I think you already have that. So there's a lot going on, man.
There's a whole lot going on here, and I think it's a source of pride not only for our school system, but also for the community as well. Hutchins College and Career Academy is doing what it's supposed to do, which is giving students an opportunity to do hands-on in the field that they're interested in. This is our first year of operation in this particular facility, but I'll tell you, it's really good.
Yeah, and it's so outstanding. But not only Hutchins College and Career Academy has a lot going on, there are other programs and activities that are going on in the community that I certainly want you to talk about because I'm just kind of, I'm more than a little bothered, about the lack of positive exposure, particularly in the area of education that's going on in our community. There are so many good things that are going on with public education. I want you to talk about some of the programs and projects and activities that are going on and some of the problems too, and how the community can help. But let's just talk about some of the programs and activities.
Well, let's talk about this one. We're at Hutchins College and Career. We're inside a filming studio that is first class.
Yes, it is.
But we have the opportunity to have something very similar to this in all of our classrooms. One of the projects that the East Wash passed last year was to put cameras inside all of our classrooms. Cameras that have high quality, that allow students and teachers an opportunity to see themselves. And so that's one project that we have really been implementing. Related to that, and this project is now complete, is the installation of interactive panels in every classroom. When I got here 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, one of the complaints I heard is that the schools aren't equitable. That technology would be put in the high school, what the high school had to be rolled down to the middle school, and then if anything was left, it might get to elementary. Well, for the first time, because of that last E-Splosh, we now have interactive panels, technology in all of our schools, every one of them, every classroom. And so
wow.
I guess I'll tell you, I didn't really understand the impact. But I was at one school, and the principal just looked at me and said, I've been here for 8 years, and this has never happened. That is amazing. So when students are able to see that we value them and we put technology in, it becomes amazing. And so I will say that between those two, we have as much technology in our classrooms as any other school system in the state of Georgia. We are 21st century, moving towards the middle of that century. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, I too am proud. As a matter of fact, I can't help but notice that little pen, the VIP pen that you have
Okay.
on your lapel. And then a lot of people, you know, we asked one guy, he was not with the board, and he said what it meant, he said very important person, which may be true, but there's a deeper meaning to that pen than very important person. So talk a little bit about it.
So let's talk about that. We have values in our school system, and one of the values we have is loyalty. And the question is, how do you as a person in the school system demonstrate loyalty? So this began with having our Bibb County pen, and we asked our employees to wear it. I shared this story with them. I said, every day when I come, I'm proud. And when I pin this on my lapel, it lets me know where I'm going, what I'm going to do, and it gives me a source of pride. And I think that demonstrates loyalty. And I'll be honest, I didn't know it was going to happen, but employees started picking up and asking for the pen, and they started wearing it. And sometimes when they saw me and they didn't have it, they said, "Oh, Dr. Jones, I'm sorry, I left my pen at home."
Yeah.
I initially started off by just saying we want to help brand ourselves and let people know how proud we are to be a part of public education and the Bibb County school system. Well, what continued was I said, I got to have something I can identify people who are doing something special. And so I worked with some folks, Christy Graham for one, who's over at Vineville Academy, and I said, we need something special. And so we kind of came up with a play on words. Our strategic plan is called Victory in Our Schools. By the year 2020, we want a graduation rate of 80%. By 2025, we want it to be 90%. And people were saying to me, when am I going to see something? What's taking so long? Why aren't you there yet? And I said, we're a work in progress. In fact, we're a victory in progress. And so victory in progress became what we were. And so that became the pen. So we're VIPs. And I started wanting to give that pen out to people. And the next thing I knew, we called our first monthly meeting our VIP meeting. And I had one of our employees say, I want to be a VIP. Why can't I? Well, that's just the meeting where, next thing I knew, I had my secretary saying, I want a VIP pen. I was out in the school one day and I had a substitute teacher say, I've been substituting at this school for 5 years. Why can't I be a VIP? And then the last story I'll share is I had a person come back telling me they were in a grocery store. And a person looked at it and said, oh, you're a VIP. And they said, yes, I am. And so for us, it's become a sense of pride, but it reminds us of the work we do every day. And so we're a victory in progress, and we hope that the community sees it, and we're wearing it as a sense of loyalty.
Outstanding. Okay, so what kind of programs that lean toward your being victorious? What are some of the in-progress programs that are going on in the schools?
Great question, and when I tell you the first one, you're going to say, I'm not surprised. I said when I first came, we got to get students so they can read better. Reading is fundamental to everything we do. And so we now have students who have learned what their Lexile scores are, and we now have the milestones back from 2015 that share with us what their scores were. Students then set goals for what they wanted their Lexile score to be for 2016. They went up. And we're now setting goals for what we want the Lexile score to be in 2017.
Explain what, Lexile?
Lexile.
Spell that for me.
Lexile.
Lexile.
Lexile. And so what happens is across the nation, the way we can now tell if students are reading on grade level is students take tests and they're able to measure themselves. And so there's a range that goes from about 250 all the way up to about 1,500. And so students get their Lexile scores. And if you're at a certain level, then you're on grade level. We're not where we need to be, but students are working to get there. But that's just getting...
Victory in progress.
But that part is getting them to know it's important to read on grade level. We know that when a high school student graduates, they should have a Lexile of about 1,200. Well, our kids are leaving around 1,000, so we got to raise that. But if you're going to go to college, it's got to be 13. So we have to continue to do that. But the other part, which is fantastic, is because you just can't tell them that, how do you get them to read? So we have schools like Veteran Elementary where they have a bunch of teachers, like 13 of them. going back to get their reading endorsement because teachers said, I need to know how to teach reading.
Right.
We're working with Mercer. We're working with Middle Georgia College to work on giving teachers that endorsement as well. The other part that we're doing is we've changed the day. We now have students in school, K through 2nd, that are taking reading for 120 minutes. And in grades 3 through 5, they're doing reading for 90 minutes. And we've given them a model for what we want that to look like. We now have given principals look for so they know, and they're getting feedback. All of that effort is intentional, and that intentional effort is going to get us those students can read. So that's part of that progress, because kids aren't going to just all of a sudden wake up and can read, but they're going to improve day by day by being focused. And so I'm very proud of that effort because it shows a lot of things are happening. Let me give you this part too, and then
Go
I'll
ahead.
listen.
No. You keep
They
talking.
have to come, but if you remember when I talked with you last time, we couldn't get students to school on time. So we changed the time that schools start. We had to change the bus route so we were able to get more students there. And I'm going to be honest, it's all starting to come together. Students are now getting to school on time. They're able to get breakfast if that's what they want to be able to do. And we now have a schedule so they can take reading throughout the day. And if they need to get pulled out, guess what we no longer do? We don't pull them out of reading to go get help in reading. We pull them out of another class that's not one of the 4. I mean, that's what we were
Reading
doing.
is fundamental.
That's right. Yeah. So a lot of things are coming together. And those aren't things that people on the outside would necessarily see. But I will tell you that I think teachers and principals are recognizing it and are starting to buy into that program.
Well, let me tell you what I did see
Okay.
this morning. And as I told you, you didn't know it initially, I'm an ex-school teacher.
Yes, sir.
And I love teaching. It's in my heart. And when I came here and went to your hospitality and culinary department, and there's 10 other disciplines that are being taught here, I was phenomenally impressed with these young people. The boys had their pants up. They were appropriately dressed. They were not shy. They were assertive in meeting me. They shook my hand and looked me directly in the eye. And I spent about 10 minutes talking to them and encouraging them. And the thing that I thought about is that not enough people know this. So what we're going to do with Andrea and Trace Crum, then we're going to make it an initiative and a project to come over here and film more and to give more exposure to this phenomenal facility. You got printing and graphic designs and recording and studio. We're in a studio now. So I just wish, and let me ask you a question. What if someone was interested in learning and seeing more about this W.S. Hutchins College and Career Charter Academy?
Well, we're located on Anthony Road. The school is open during the same days and hours that the regular schools are. All they have to do is come over, and the school is open for visitation. Now, this school, because we are transporting students from our regular high schools, we have a session in the morning and a session in the afternoon. But this is a source of pride, and so come over and see either Dr. Washington or Miss Austin, and you'll be able to get a tour. And I think that'd be great because the more people who see it, they'll tell their children or their grandchildren about this facility because this is one of the best college and career academies in the state.
Absolutely. And I've only seen this one, but this one, I know this one will be hard to beat, for sure.
They did a great job of designing it. We have done a great job of finding the right teachers to come and teach, and the facilities and the equipment is first class. One of the reasons for that is because we have boards that work with each one of the career fields, and that board is comprised mainly of people from the outside civilian world that in the field, and they help make sure we stay up to date. And
You got advisory boards like Mid-South Credit Union was here today, and I'm sure that some of them are on your advisory board.
They are, and so we have a banking pathway, and they're going to help us set up. And that's going to be a live bank where they're going to have a person there working, and anybody, even from the public, can come in and utilize it.
See, it's an actual bank. Actual bank.
It's not up and operational yet, but that's the plan.
I know. And then I know you talked about aviation, and you're going to, and then I heard somebody mention drones, and that's the wave of the future.
It is, and so Dr. Washington is working with Central Georgia Tech in order to make sure we don't duplicate services, because what we want is to provide as many opportunities in the community as we can. So our students can be dual enrolled, come through here and go over to Central Georgia and
Wow.
take that program.
Wow, wow.
But then we're offering a different aspect of it, which is we are trying to get into the drone technology and teach students how to fly them and design them and keep them going.
Yeah, now, why don't you just talk a minute about how this victory in progress, how it's going to help the community and what it's going to mean to the social and economic and spiritual and recreational and psychological advancement of the community. Because oftentimes, it does not matter. Some people think, well, I don't have any kids in school. My kids are grown. My kids, go over to another school. So talk a little bit about how this is important to everybody.
Well-
how it intertwines with the growth of our community.
Well, this is a special time, and President Obama is about to leave office. But if you think about it, 8 years ago, we met his daughters. Now, 8 years later, one's off in college, the other one's in high school and about to finish. I say that because when we first met those little girls, we weren't really sure what they were going to become or be. When you see people today, you're not sure which one's going to be your doctor, the chief of police, the next mayor. I was very fortunate. When I was in high school, we had a program called Superlatives, and they took a picture of the superlatives and put them in the yearbook. Went back and looked at that class from '73, and I would tell you that in that class, we had, out of 12 superlatives, we had teachers, assistant principals, principals, a state legislator, and a superintendent. You never know who's sitting in the class and what job they're going to get. And so what the community has to recognize is who we're educating is going to be who's here.
Absolutely.
And what we want are two things. We want those students who are not achieving to at least get a GED if they can't graduate, because the higher the educational level, the more informed we are, the better we'll be. Here's the second part. The smarter we are, the higher the credit ratings will be. And high credit ratings of about 700 for a community changes everything. All of a sudden, businesses want to come, people are willing to invest, you get more growth. And so that's what you're going to get from us. We're going to be able to help increase the credit rating because we're a better school system. And that's going to help the community as a whole.
And then you also, as evidence about by these 10 different disciplines, you also are going to help, not only through these disciplines, but through education period, help make, the community employment ready to attract different industries, because that's what I think, well, you can talk about that better than I
so
can.
what happened is, as we were trying to decide which pathways to offer, we looked at the ones that were most in need and which one were the high growth industries. That's what you're talking about. So as businesses come, they're able to come and share with us, this is what their needs are. You mentioned banking. So we now are able to talk to actual banks that need employees, and we're able to try and provide people with those skills. As I was talking with your crew that came in to work with these students today, I think they were somewhat amazed by the equipment we have, but the statement that they shared with me was, when the students leave here, they're not going to have a learning curve about what to make and how to get there.
Right.
So we're very excited about being able to offer that. Employers will tell you that they want to have a population ready to come in, a workforce that is trainable by them. And that's what this College and Career Academy will do. But this is not the only place. We also have CTAE programs in our other high schools as well. So if you go to Northeast, for example, you'll find out about sports medicine. Medicine's huge around here.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you think about the sports history we have, it's going to work. So how do you find somebody who can be a therapist? How do you find somebody who can be the physical trainer? So I'm excited about all of those activities. And so while I'm very proud of Hutchins College and Career Academy, I will tell you our high schools are doing a great job. And people do a disservice when they only think about what they knew when they were in school. School is different today.
Yeah, because the world is very, 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 very different. Well, we're going to take a break. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Dr. Curtis Jones, Superintendent of the Victory and Progress Bibb County Board of Education. We'll be right back.
Victory in Schools Parent University is a program that allows families to become full partners in their children's education. The program offers learning sessions and provides online resources and workshops that will focus on student achievement, health, wellness, personal growth, and development. But we have a little problem. We need a logo. For all Bibb County students, we're having a contest. We want you to create an authentic logo that showcases your creativity and promotes the New Parent University program. The winner receives a cash prize of $200, 2 season tickets to Mercer Bears football game, and more. Also, be creative, be inspired, and be unique. For more information on Victory in Schools Parent University and the logo contest, go to bibbcountyschooldistrict12.net.
We're back, and and I guess you can say I'm kind of giddy because I'm in an education environment. I'm at a school, and I see young people, learning and progressing and having hands-on activities, and I know it's going to be productive, and I know it's going to play a major role in the success of these young people. Not only that, but also in the future of our country. And I'm glad to see it. Because, as you know, the Bibb County Board of Education has taken like my grandma used to say, taken a whooping, over the years. But it has moved from a whooping to victory and progress. And so I'm sure that there are several, both students